That's weird. That's weird. Kind of weirding me out.
You are a sad, strange little man.
Crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Isn't that weird?
That's weird, man.
It's strange.
Sorry, wait.
Alex is on his phone. He usually leads off, but I guess I'll do it. How's it going, everybody? This is Camp Strange. This is your camp counselor, David Stokes. Sitting with me is your other camp counselor. What's your name, dipshit?
I'm Alex Tobin.
What are you looking at on your phone?
I wasn't actually expecting you to keep going with it.
For God's sakes.
My girlfriend's texting me.
She's in the other room.
Yeah, she said,
Catherine.
Airline, she just texted me, airline that gives out weed. Airbud. Just a thought. So, that's what she's thinking.
All right. Good job, Katie. Is she ripping bowls back there? Huh?
I don't know.
Smoking fat dubers.
You got a lot of ideas going on up in that head.
I guess there's something, huh?
Yeah.
Roasted.
So, okay, hey, welcome back, guys. This is Camp Strange, where we tell you weird, spooky, strange stories, and you listen to them.
I like mine more.
Well, your intro?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's better. It was better. I wasn't ready. Anyway, let's catch you up on some weird news. I got a story right here.
Yeah,
and
do it.
So a man named Jeremy Taylor, he's 36 years old, was up in, do you know where Sun River, Oregon is?
I do.
Do you actually?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
it's like a huge tourist place. Like people have like homes there and stuff. It's like a huge resort town.
Oh, okay. So this guy, I mean, he said he was on a forest road near Sun River,
Okay.
Oregon, and he's with his dog Allie, and his Toyota 4Runner became stuck in heavy snow, and they thought, you know what? Well, we're just gonna.
Oh, I know this one.
Do you?
I think I do.
They just got kind of stuck, and they're like, okay, well, what we're gonna do is like we can't get out right now, so we'll spend the night here. It's dark out. We'll leave the heater on in the car and turn it on intermittently, and then apparently overnight it snowed heavy, and they became snowed in.
Yeah.
And they were too far to walk to anywhere without, suffering maybe some frostbite or something like that.
Mm.
So they ended up staying 5 days in the car, and they had nothing to eat. But do you know what it is?
Yeah, I know what it is.
What is it?
It's Taco Bell hot sauce.
Taco Bell hot sauce.
Yeah. I didn't realize he had a
Fire
dog
sauce.
with him.
Yeah, he had a dog with him.
So did he feed the dog the hot sauce? Because that dog is going to shit a storm.
Honestly,
You thought the storm outside was bad? The
storm
shit that
inside.
dog is going to put down is going to be way worse.
Honestly, I mean, between him and the dog, I'd be like, oh my god. And it was fire sauce. It was one of the hot. Is there any hotter than fire?
They have a Diablo, I believe.
Oh yeah.
But in my experience, they all taste like asshole except for the hot one. The hot one's not bad.
Yeah. I mean, I like mild.
I love hot sauce. I love spicy things, and for me, there's a good threshold between where it's insanely hot and when it actually tastes good.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there's no point in having hot sauce if it doesn't taste good. You shouldn't be punishing yourself. If it's hot but it tastes good, it should be fine.
Yeah. I agree. I've ran across. I'm not a hot sauce kind of guy. I like the taste. I like the taste of hot sauce, but my body just doesn't like it. I just start like sweating and my nose starts running and my face gets red. But
that's
really,
my diet secret. All that water weight right out.
Oh really? You eat a lot of hot sauce?
Have you not seen the designated shelf in my fridge that's completely
I have not.
40 fucking things of hot sauce?
Oh, wow. Do you do the Hot Sauce Club type thing?
No.
We should get them as a sponsor. Hot Sauce Club.
Yeah.
Hot
Might
Sauce
work.
Club.
I think that's a good one.
Yeah. And then a toilet paper sponsor, too.
Yeah. Charmin with those bears that just love shitting. Those bears love shitting. And they want to tell you all about it.
They always got chunks stuck to their butt. Pretty gross.
I don't think that's ever happened to me.
No.
It's not like I'm shaving.
Okay, let's move on from there. But
the classic image of the person's learning to shave the toilet paper out of their face.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, classic. Yeah. Okay. But they did survive the 5 days, and they said they were in good condition, but they were hungry, so they were able to eat that hot sauce, and then they were rescued. And he ends the story with a quote that says, Taco Bell fire sauce saves lives.
Do you think they got some sort of year free Taco Bell? You think they went to Taco Bell as soon as they got out of there?
No, they might have went to the hospital. they might have some ulcers.
maybe.
I don't know. But they probably definitely got like a sponsor, some kind of sponsorship from
Live Moss.
Yeah, they got something. That would be a perfect one, actually, Live Moss. But I don't know. That's pretty cool. They probably didn't need more diarrhea. They didn't go Taco Bell.
Yep.
But, okay, you got a news story.
But could you imagine your last meal being Taco Bell? I'm sure he just had I bet he just had the hot sauce in his car.
Your last meal as in, like, before you die?
Yeah, you were about to die and you're like, fuck, the last thing I had was Taco Bell.
Well, no, I like that because then you die before you feel the effects of Taco Bell within, like, 3 minutes, you know?
Hopefully that
I'd eat it in the electric chair.
Now that I think about it, I think I've got some Chick-fil-A sauces in my glove compartment.
You can't have Chick-fil-A. What kind? You
What?
can't have any, like... There's certain sauces you can't have in your glove box, like ranch and Chick-fil-A sauce.
The only sauce I touch from Chick-fil-A is the Polynesian sauce, and that shit is fuego.
I like the Chick-fil-A sauce, and that has like.
Have you had the Polynesian sauce?
I kind of think so.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's like sweet and sour, but 10 times better.
Okay.
All right. So you want my stories?
Yeah.
Well, I literally pulled these up 30 seconds before we started, and you know me, I'm a headline kind of guy. This one I thought was funny. Power outage in Venezuela causes economic crisis.
That's funny.
In RuneScape.
Oh.
I guess there are so many RuneScape players in Venezuela that it caused an economic crisis.
Okay, so did you ever play RuneScape?
I only played RuneScape once, and it was solely to mess with my friend's little brother, and we just followed him and annoyed him, and that was my only time playing RuneScape.
Okay, that's not the one with the penguins. That's Club Penguin.
That's
right?
Club Penguin.
Okay, I don't know what RuneScape is because I think I played one called is it Neopets? That was like one, right?
Yeah. No, Neopets was pretty big. Sorry, that was my chair creaking.
I don't know RuneScape.
RuneScape, I'm pretty sure, is basically like a free version of like World of Warcraft. Like it's it's like above head.
Okay, bird's eye view
RPG.
Community.
Yeah, like everybody's online. That's as far as I know. I just know it has a huge like. It used to be really big back in 2004, 3, 5. I don't know. Mm-hmm. And then people like are just now playing like the old version of it. Like,
okay,
I had a resurgence.
I thought it was just taking like 10 years to get to Venezuela. Kind of like like they're just watching Ghostbusters 2 right now.
I'm pretty sure there's a large following to the game.
Okay, I don't know if anybody plays it over here anymore. Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know anybody personally, but
economic crisis.
That's pretty wild.
Venezuela, come on.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
So the next one I have, headline again, because I didn't have enough time to actually read the articles. I just looked for funny headlines. And this is Metalheads with Kazoos drown out Westboro Baptist Church at a Virginia Capitol.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Westboro Baptist Church, if you guys don't know, they hate everybody but themselves.
Yeah.
And Metalheads, you think would hate everybody but themselves, but apparently they hate the Westboro Baptist Church more than everybody. So, I mean, that's kind of nice. It's kind of like when you see the Hells Angels do the same thing. It's like, it's great because it's always like the worst. The people who you think are like the worst members of society, they're like, oh, bikers, oh, punks, oh, metal guys. And then versus like a church who like, it's great to see the
quote
contrast
unquote church,
because the church is always way worse than the punks or the bikers and stuff like that, and it's always kind of like a fun matchup, I have to say.
So I found another headline real quick when I was closing out that last tab, and it's from a sheriff, and it says drunk woman with cats in suitcase arrested in Stafford County.
Okay, how do I meet her?
Yeah, I don't think you want to.
Wait, are they alive cats in suitcases or are they dead cats in suitcases?
I'm clicking on it now. And the first comment I see is, what color were the cats, though?
They're not asking the right questions.
Let me do a little scroll. Her mugshot is beautiful.
I want to know about these cats. I want to know about this woman. I want to know if she's single.
An intoxicated woman carrying cats inside a briefcase was arrested in Stafford County, Virginia, the sheriff's office says. 43-year-old woman.
43? Okay, that's still in my age range.
Her speech was slurred and she had bloodshot eyes, according to the sheriff's office.
Okay.
I haven't seen anything about them
You
being
haven't
alive.
deterred me yet.
Yeah, I'm assuming they're alive.
Oh, thank God.
Doesn't say they're dead, so yeah, let's call them alive.
Yeah, good.
I mean, if take it from me, I'm a professional. If you're walking around with dead cats in your suitcase, no one's gonna know.
Is it a?
That's just a little secret between
it a-
you and me.
Is it a Swammy, Swanson, Samsonite?
Samsonite. As long as the cats ain't leaking from all the deafness, no one's gonna know.
Okay. Well, next time I'm in Stafford, Virginia, I will elope with that woman, and we will start our own luggage company.
You can make a headline and get arrested for carrying around a briefcase that has a sound device that makes cat sounds, and then they're gonna search that shit and find that.
They're gonna find in my suitcases that woman with her cats, because I'm shipping her to California, baby.
We need more of you people in California.
I'm not paying for the ticket, but I'm getting you to California now.
I mean, you could get a Greyhound for probably $13. It might take 4 days.
I'm
but...
not paying.
Okay.
I'm getting the free online. I mean, the free on. What's it called? I haven't been on an airplane in a very long.
You're gonna spend the time to go through Craigslist and type in, "I need a ride from here to here." Who's gonna do it?
They do that.
Yeah, I know they do.
Anyway, I watched a documentary on that. It was pretty interesting.
A documentary on drunk women with cats in their briefcases.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just get into these stories because we got some. Oh, I got a good story for you. I don't know what David has ready for you, but
Take the reins.
I got a good one for you. So let's get into it. Today I will be telling you about one of the most insane, mysterious, and baffling string of murders to ever take place on American soil.
Ooh.
This terrifying tale begins in the bustling city of New Orleans during the spring of 1918, when some unnamed man, woman, or possibly creature went on a murder spree lasting close to 2 years, leaving 6 dead and 6 seriously injured in its wake. Although the killer has forever been a mystery, he has not gone nameless. This is the story of the Axeman of New Orleans. Good name, right? Axeman.
That was my high school mascot.
The Axeman?
Well, we were the Axemen.
Number one suspect. I'm looking at you right now.
And then we got changed to the Axe because of the whole gender thing.
Did you really?
Yep.
No way. As of recent?
Yeah, like last year. Our women's sports teams were the Lady Axe, and then we were the Axemen, and I don't know, people freaked out about it, so they just changed it to the Axe.
The Axe people?
It's just the Axe.
Oh,
we're just a singular Axe now.
That's not as fun, but it's okay. You're still an Axe.
It's just an Axe.
Just an axe. So, on May 22nd, 1918, an Italian grocer named Joseph Maggio and his wife Catherine were sleeping in their apartment above the Maggio grocery store when someone or something broke in and decided to pay them a visit. Upon investigation, the next day, the police discovered that a panel in the rear door had been chiseled out, providing an entryway for the killer. Now, what is a panel on a door? Because this is going to be a recurring theme, and I do not know what a door panel looks like and how you could chisel it out. Is it just like...
from what I can imagine is...
How, like, the doors have, like, the sectional... Like, the little sectional parts that, like, go inward a little bit? I don't...
What I imagine is, as far as I know in Nolans, is that it gets very hot and humid, and I can only imagine that'd be some sort of like a little door on your door that has ventilation, so not quite a screen door, but something that's kind of in between.
Okay.
That's what I'm imagining, but I'm not sure.
I mean, it was 1918. Did they have screen doors back then?
Maybe not. Maybe this is the pre-screen
door. Doors. They have screen doors, right?
I don't fucking know.
I don't know either. So, as police went upstairs, they found both Joseph and Catherine's bodies lying in their beds, murdered and covered in blood. The killer had slashed both of their throats with a straight razor, and upon leaving, he bashed their heads with an axe, perhaps in order to conceal the real cause of death.
So it'd be the blunt side of the axe.
No. He hit him with the. You know what? I think he maybe got him with the blunt side, but I think he caught him a couple times with like the sharp side. I don't really know. I don't have pictures of this, but
I know you looked.
I
didn't want to see those brains.
Well, I was at work and I felt weird about googling that. So
I Google way worse things at work.
So the murders were apparently not robberies, though. They weren't robbery motivated, since cash and valuable belongings were still in the room in plain view. So no money was taken, no jewelry was taken.
It's an act of passion.
Yeah, something's going on. So Joseph survived the attack initially, but died minutes after being discovered by his brothers. So his brothers ran in, saw him. He's like, dead.
Whoa.
So Catherine, on the other hand, died prior to the brothers' arrival. Her throat had been cut so deep that her head was nearly severed from her shoulders.
Yeah, that's wild.
Deep cut. So, you know what they say? The first cut is the deepest. Shania Twain, Cat Stevens. So, in the apartment, law enforcement agents found the bloody clothes of the murderer as he had changed into a clean set of clothes before fleeing the scene, leaving the blood-soaked axe, but apparently tossing the razor into a neighboring property. When police finally found the razor, they quickly discovered that it belonged to Andrew Maggio, the brother of the deceased, who conducted a barbershop on, get this, Camp Street.
Hey-o.
So his brother was a barber, and apparently an employee said that Maggio had removed the razor from the shop 2 days prior to the murder, explaining that he wanted to have a nick honed from the blade. Maggio, who had lived in the adjoining apartment to his brother's residence, discovered his slain brother and sister-in-law roughly 2 hours after the gruesome attacks. Whoa. You hear that?
Oh, Fast and Furious being filmed outside right now?
Fast motorcycle. That's the
so
Axeman
sick.
trying to get away. So, 2 hours after the gruesome attacks had occurred, upon hearing the strange groaning noises through the wall, the brother ran over there to check it out. Maggio blamed his failure to hear any noise related to the attacks that had occurred in the early morning hours on his intoxicated state. So he was saying, I'm still fucked up from the night before. There's no way I'm hearing my brother and his wife getting their heads cut off over there.
I've had this fear before of like, you know, you and your buddies go out and you get a little, you know, you have a few drinks. I'm always worried that like I'm gonna like either witness or like something sketchy is gonna happen around me, and I'm just gonna be like, yeah, I don't know, I don't remember any of it.
What does that mean? Oh, like you actually won't remember it, or you don't want to come forward because you were drunk? What does that mean?
No, like I can be like, yo, I'm drunk, but I don't really have any
like clarity information.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I'm always afraid when I get drunk that I'm gonna trip and like nick something, and then I'm just gonna bleed out all over because alcohol makes your blood thin. So don't be coming around my house with your razor and your barber and your axe and your chisel looking to steal my blood.
That young blood.
That young blood staying in my
young enough.
young fit body. I'm not young anymore. Well,
Or fit.
yeah. Oh. Hold it together, Alex. You got this. Okay, so he was the brother Andrew was did I say his name was Andrew? Whatever. His brother was immediately seen as the prime suspect in the case, but quickly released after investigators were unable to break down his statement, as well as his account of an unknown man who was supposedly seen lurking near the residence prior to the murders. The only clue that was discovered was a message that had been written in chalk near the victim's home. It read, "Mrs. Joseph Maggio will sit up tonight. Just write Mrs. Tony, Toney. What does that mean? I literally looked all over for what that could have meant. I'll read it again. Mrs. Joseph Maggio will sit up tonight. Just write Mrs. Tony or Tony. Just write Mrs. Tony. I don't know what that means. Is that like a cheating thing where it's like we're calling her by like a different man's last name?
Will sit upright.
Yeah, Mrs. Joseph Maggio will sit up tonight.
Oh, sit up tonight.
Will sit up tonight. Just write Mrs. Tony.
It's kind of catchy.
Know. I Googled it all over. I couldn't find what it meant. If you guys know what it means, please shoot it over because I am very curious on what that means. I mean, obviously the cops didn't know what it meant either. If no one figured it out. So,
yeah, if any of you listeners can really solve this,
this 100-year-old case,
let us know. We'd love to break it.
You know Tony. You know Mrs. Tony. So, investigators began digging into old files looking for possible cases that matched the Maggio murders, and to their surprise, discovered that 3 murders and a number of attacks against Italian grocers had already taken place in 1911. I read also that they're not really sure if these murders were actually connected to this guy, but it was enough for them to become suspicious that this might be a string of killings or a serial killer, and take it more into consideration as an investigation than like a one-off killer, because we'll get into it later, but a lot of the times, I mean, especially with this murder, they thought the mob had to deal with it because they were Italians. So they're like, oh, this is like the mob. We're not going to mess with them. They're dealing with stuff in-house, whatever. But then they saw these earlier and they go, actually, this might be somebody else or something else going on. They weren't strictly business related, you know?
Okay.
So the murders bore a striking resemblance to the Maggio crime, in that an axe had been used in each, and access to each home had been gained through a panel in the rear door. These earlier crimes had been thought to be a vendetta of terror organized by the mafia. The police and the Italian residents of the French Quarter braced themselves for the worst. So, like I said, the mafia was like number one suspect. But I read recently that they don't believe that the first murders had anything to do with it.
You don't think so?
I don't know. I mean,
because it was the time was when a lot of people were, you know, coming to United, like a lot of immigrants were coming, right?
Yeah.
And so it wouldn't be unbelievable to believe that there were people that were, you know, wrapped up in the mob, fleeing from, you know, Italy and coming to the United States trying to hide for a reason.
Yeah, and a couple of them were like grocery store workers. So I don't really know. There was another theory that whoever this person was wanted to kill the women, but only killed the men if they were like in the way or involved. But then, like, if you go on like later crimes, like some of these later attempted murders, they're just men. So
yeah,
I don't know. I think their theories changed a lot. They still never got like any closure on it. So I think maybe 100 years can change the story as well, or create more speculation about certain things.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll get into more of these murders. Almost exactly a month after the Maggio murder came a second crime. On June 27th, 1918, Louis Bossamer, a grocer who lived behind the store with his common-law wife, which it said common-law wife, and I wasn't sure what that meant, and another one said mistress. So, or girlfriend. Another one said girlfriend. So I don't know what common-law wife is.
I think that just means that you married them in a court of law.
I think maybe you just live with them. I don't know. It's like a woman you live with, and it's not. I don't know.
Well, I know a mistress.
I'm dumb. I'm so dumb.
You do know what a mistress is, right?
I do, but I think that person just got it incorrect. So, or maybe we did. I don't know. His common-law wife, Annie Harriet Lowe, was discovered by neighbors one morning lying in a pool of blood. So they're both lying in a pool of blood.
Wait, where were they?
They were in their house, behind the grocery store. Bessemer had been struck with a hatchet above his right temple, which resulted in a possible skull fracture, and Lowe was hacked over the left ear and found unconscious when police arrived at the scene. The axe which belonged to Bessemer, it was his axe, was lying next to Bessemer and was covered with blood. A panel of the kitchen door had also been removed, and a chisel was lying on the back steps, and nothing had been stolen. The exact same MO as the Maggio murder. So this is like, okay, we definitely have to take this into consideration now, because a lot of the time, like I said, this is Bessemer's ass. Fuck. So it was his axe, and a lot of the time he would take the owner of the house's axe and use it against them.
Yeah.
So he was kind of taking things that people already owned, which is kind of brilliant in a weird way. Right? The murder weapon was their own, so there's no tracing it back. It's like, but it's also like very unprepared. Like showing up to a house, being like, "Hey, what am I gonna kill him with? What am I gonna kill him with?"
Well, it sounds like he has a favorite tool.
He does, but not everybody has an axe, as you will find out later.
Oh, okay.
So after she regained consciousness. What's her name again? Annie. After Annie regained consciousness in Charity Hospital, Annie first claimed her attacker to be young and very dark. But later, she changed her story and stated that Bessemer had attacked her common-law husband. The police were skeptical, however, never being able to figure out how Bessemer could have attacked Annie and then fractured his own skull with an axe. So there are like
Right place at the right time.
I was gonna say there are people who I don't think you can really hit yourself with an axe, but there are people who like, you see like Scream where they kill everybody and they go, and then we're gonna stab ourselves. Spoilers, but. And then we're going to stab ourselves to make it look like the killer tried to get us and then he got away. Or we're gonna,
Matthew Lillard.
Yeah, Matthew Lillard, and I can't remember the other guy's name. But yeah, so they thought that he might have done that, but they're like, it doesn't really look that convincing since he did get hacked in the head with an axe and you can't really fracture your skull that easily,
Yeah, I don't know. I've never tried.
Yeah, we'll try it next time. But after finding, so they thought he was like, he's not it. But after finding letters in a trunk in his house written in German, Yiddish, and Russian, they thought that he could possibly be a German spy. They thought it would be a good idea to go ask his crazy-ass girlfriend, who obviously thought he was already a killer, if he was a German spy. Guess what she said?
Yeah?
Yeah, she's like, oh, yeah, he's definitely a German spy.
Spies were way bigger back then. Why don't we have spies today?
I think it's
just a little...
Well, you could spy on people from different countries now. You just need a computer,
I spy on people all the time, so I can call myself a spy.
That's stalking.
No, I'm a spy.
Sir, get on the ground. You can't tell a spy what to do.
I got one of the little microphones I got from a book fair in elementary school. I can hear things real loud, cars scare me and they hurt my ear.
Wait, you got a what from a book fair?
One time,
I'm picturing you in like a park with one of those, like the dishes attached to the end of a gun, and you wear headphones.
Oh yeah,
and you hear people from like 500 yards away.
Yeah, no, I remember we had book fair thing in elementary school, and it's like the more like magazines you sold for those shitty magazines. You'd get those things. I remember I got this little, like spy thing, and it was basically it's like a microphone that had really high sensitivity and like yeah, you could hear things from far away, but if like anything,
it's like a stethoscope.
Yeah, if anything remotely kind of like loud, like a sneeze, you would be instantly
it's like
deaf.
ASMR, but like
times 1,000.
Yeah,
it worked, but it hurt.
There's so many times that I got tricked into fucking like buying a spy thing that wasn't actually a spy thing. I bought these like night vision goggles, and it was basically green plastic goggles that had a flashlight like taped to both sides of it.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, these aren't night vision at all. So that explains why they were $15.99.
Yeah, it would.
So he was then immediately arrested because he is obviously a German spy. But 2 days later, Bosmer was released, and the two lead investigators of the case were demoted due to unacceptable police work.
Woof.
They're like, well, you just asked this crazy bitch if
Whoa.
her husband's...
You don't know her.
Okay, I have like two more sentences about her.
Oh, okay.
So Bessemer was once again arrested a month later after Harriet Lowe, who lay dying in Charity Hospital after not Harriet Lowe. What's her name? Annie Lowe. I think Harriet was her middle name. So after his girlfriend again, who was dying in a charity hospital after a failed surgery to fix her partially paralyzed face, stated that it was he who had attacked her with his hatchet. He was charged with murder again and served 9 months in prison before being acquitted after a 10-minute jury deliberation. So she basically just like
10 minutes.
She's like about to die again because she's in surgery for her facial paralysis, and I bet she just like pissed at him because he might have had something to do with like her getting hatcheted. At least they're probably going after him, and she was there, so she was pissed at him. She's like, "Oh, he did it," and they're like, "No, he didn't do it." And then she's like about to die, and they're like, "He definitely did it." And then they're like, it was probably the same two police officers who got demoted, and they're like, oh, fuck, okay, he probably did do it. And then he got 9 months, and then the jury's like, he clearly didn't. So,
yeah.
Like, his girlfriend kind of sucked a little bit, you know?
I mean, I can kind of understand where she's coming from. It's like you feel safe in your own place, and
she was dying, so I guess I could kind of feel bad for saying she sucked, but
you know, it's you've been attacked, you're living in a place that you think is safe, and it's like there's only one person that could do it. Like, you don't, like, maybe she just never even considered the fact that someone could have broken in.
That's true. I mean, maybe she was just in kind of like a blind rage. I mean, it was only like a month after, and she's dying, and she's probably like really angry. But like, he obviously got his head like fractured, you know? Like,
Yeah.
he got hit with an axe. Like, he might have done it, but damn, that would be a weird case of him hitting him. I would love to see the video of him trying to hit himself in the head with an axe.
Yeah, you just lift it high enough. You let the weight of its
I feel
axe
like-
just do its own thing.
I don't know if that would have worked, but hey, if it did, he tricked
Things
us.
were heavier back then.
It's true, they were. Skulls were thicker, things were heavier.
No carbon fiber.
No, I should say the skulls were thinner. But later on that year, in August, a 28-year-old woman named Anna Schneider, who was 8 months pregnant, awakened in the night to see a tall phantom-like form standing over her bed. She screamed as she was struck repeatedly. Her head was gashed open and her face was covered in blood when she was found by her husband, Ed. She remembered nothing of the attack, but police found that no doors or windows were forced open and only $6 were taken from the nightstand.
What was Ed doing?
What?
Where was Ed? Was he
That's a great question.
just tugging it in the bathroom?
He was down at the gas station, $6 short, and angry.
He went to get some cigarettes.
So, but here's what I'll get into it right now. They also believed that the weapon may not have been an axe, since they didn't own an axe, like I said, but a bedside table lamp. So,
Okay.
she, like I said, it would make sense because the Axemen usually use whatever the homeowner had, usually an axe, which most people did. But I guess
A lot of people had axes back then.
Yeah, and like when we don't have an axe right there, you gotta be quick and effective. And what's right next to the bed where the person's sleeping, but a big heavy old lamp. Like I said, things were heavier back then.
Yeah,
like
they
you
were.
said, things were heavier. But luckily, she recovered and had her baby 2 days later. So
Fuck yeah.
that's kind of a good little story.
Some light in the darkness.
Yeah, next victim. So a few nights later, an old Italian man named Joseph Romano. Don't be Italian in New Orleans right now.
I mean, this was all aimed towards Italians, was it not?
It seems that way. I mean, that's what they keep saying on the wikis and on the new all the articles and all the stories. They keep saying like, yeah, it was like a thing against Italians, and
Well, there was some racism towards Italian people. At this time.
for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just kind of seems weird. Like they're all grocers too. Was that like a very common thing for an Italian man to be a grocer?
I believe so.
Yeah, I mean maybe. So
Butchers and grocers, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, you think you go after the butcher? You can't go after the butchers. They're too quick with a knife. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They know how to handle a knife. You got to go after the grocers.
Not when they're asleep.
All they know how to do is handle a lemon or a lime and a coconut. You know?
I'm sorry. What?
I'm just saying. Butchers have knives. Grocers
Sell knives. I don't know.
No, they have lemons and limes and coconuts and crack you open like a coconut. So a few nights later, an old Italian man named Joseph Romano, who was also attacked. He lived with his two nieces, and when they heard a commotion coming from the next room, they opened the door to find Romano with a severe wound to his head and a man in a dark trench coat and a big black hat leaping from the window. The back panel was chiseled off, no items were stolen, and a bloody axe was found in the backyard. Joseph Romano died 2 days later, though, due to the head trauma, which is weird because he got up and, like, after he was attacked, he walked to, like, the ambulance and was like, oh, okay, yeah, here, let's go to the hospital. And then just 2 days later, dead.
It's that sweet, sweet adrenaline, my dude.
Yeah, I know. So it's just crazy how that happens.
Yeah.
So by this time, hysteria was sweeping through the city. Families divided into watches and stood guard over their relatives as they slept. People went about with loaded shotguns and waited for news of the latest Axeman sighting. I would definitely either get board up some of these panels, or like you said, just like the article said, get a shotgun.
I'd put bells with fishing line all around the house.
Oh, you're gonna do a little bit of a booby trap alert system.
It's not booby trap. It's just letting me know when the bells are ringing.
ADT. That's 1919 ATT. Call 1919 ADT.
What are you saying right now?
Sorry, ADT is like the security system, I think.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
It's 1919 ADT.
I know two security systems I have, and it's my left and my right fist.
Oh my god. You catch a lamp quick to the head with that kind of attitude. So while most of the so-called sightings can be contributed to panic among local residents, the Axeman did leave tangible evidence behind as well. Also on August 11th, a man named Al Durand discovered an axe and a chisel lying outside his rear door in the early morning hours. His back door had been damaged, but had apparently proved too thick for the killer to cut through. So you just need a thick door, it looks like. You need nice mahogany.
You don't need to send the kids to college. Just get a thick door.
We can't eat this week. Spend all the money on the thick door. You guys are going to...
Line up, boys. We're eating the old door.
Come on, termites. Let's go. That's his gang. Come on, we're the termites. We got to eat all the wood around the neighborhood. No, I just thinking the guy sitting there.
Thinking?
The guy.
What's going on in that head?
You guys all thought I was so stupid behind that thick door. Now look at us. Now it's like I'm the town hero. Everybody, we got 20 people sleeping in my living room.
Now my seed will spread.
I'm a thick door, thick door owls. So, numerous other parties have said to find damaged doors, chisels, and axes near their grocery business or homes. So they were finding this more and more, which is weird because he kind of like kept ditching the chisel, or it could have been copycat killers. I don't know, but like one of his MOs, like I feel like his calling card was like leaving evidence or like leaving the not only the murder weapon but like the break-in and entry.
Yeah, it's good old tauntaroo.
Yeah, it kind of was, honestly. It's kind of weird, but they didn't have like evidence, so it's like, wouldn't it make more sense to leave a bloody axe and a chisel on the floor of the crime scene than to be carrying it around? Because once they catch you and they go,
oh yeah,
hey, you shouldn't be out this late, and you got a bloody axe and a chisel.
Yeah, leave all the evidence behind.
Yeah, they're not going to fingerprint.
We're not giving you advice.
Well,
by the way.
Well, now you can't do that because they just fingerprint everything, but you just don't want to have it on you at all.
Not if you burned off your fingerprints at the age of 6.
Did you?
You tell me.
You touch that MIB, that Men in Black globe, it burns off your fingerprints. You remember that for the first Men in Black?
No.
Or Will Smith screams because it burns off his fingertips.
I don't remember that at all.
Fingerprints. No?
No.
It's right up there with that bouncy ball that flies all around, but you got to watch more of the Men in Black.
I guess so.
So, on September 15th, a grocer named Paul Durrell, another grocer, found that someone had also attempted to cut through his rear door. He had a thin door, but he had something that the killer would never think would ever stop him in his tracks.
A really pissed off parakeet?
No, he had a case of tomatoes that he left resting against the inside panel, which had foiled the attack.
Was it full of tomatoes? Did the tomatoes not roll out? I'm confused.
Well, tomatoes used to come in big wooden crates back then. So I think he was trying to do the panel, like he's probably trying to push the panel inward, and
I'm just imagining like a wooden crate without a top, and you tilt that shit, and the tomatoes are gonna come tumbling all over.
No, this is an Italian man. He buys tomatoes in the bathtub. Oh, give me a bathtub of tomato.
It's more like a coffin. A coffin tomato.
Well, Paul Durrell, he foiled this attack with tomato. Never did he think
Who would have guessed the axe murder would have been foiled by a case of tomatoes?
I was thinking him and Dorga are like, man, they all laughed at me when I bought that giant case of tomatoes.
It was a great run killing all those people with that goddamn case of tomatoes. Motherfuckers.
I know when to call it quits. Put my jersey up in the rafters.
Goddamn tomatoes.
So then he mysteriously, as he had came, he was gone. He vanished, at least for a while. But in the early morning hours of March 10th, what's the date today? 12th. Okay, we missed it. Fuck. So, in the early morning hours of March 10th, 1919, the Axemen struck again when Mrs. Charles... What? Mrs. Charles? Okay. Mrs. Charles Court... Oh, that's the thing. They kept writing it, which is, like, very archaic. It's just, like, somebody would be like, oh, this woman, Mrs. Paul Durand, and you're like, oh, she has a fucking name. And they're like, no, she's Mrs. Paul Durand. Like, so I had to, like, go and research her name to, like, put it in. But I guess
Paula?
I missed this one. No, I had to switch one person's name to Annie because it was, like, just had the husband's name in there. So Mrs. Charles Cortamiglia, wife of a grocer in Gretna, which is, like, right across the, what
I was going to say, you know, I've met a few girls named Charlie.
No, this is based off of the husband's name.
Oh, okay.
It's like Mrs. Alex Tobin. It's like what they do at weddings, right? Mr. and Mrs. Alex Tobin. And you're like, okay.
Yeah. For the first time. Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
So they're doing that kind of thing. So Mrs. Charles Cortamiglia, wife of a grocer in Gretna, which is like right across from the river from New Orleans, awakened to find her husband struggling with a large man in dark clothing who was armed with an axe. As her husband fell in a bloody heap to the floor, Miss Cortamiglia held her 2-year-old daughter in her arms and begged her attacker for mercy, at least for the child. But the Axeman came down anyway, killing the little girl and fracturing the skull of her mother. That's fucked up and sad, yeah. Not a good one, I have to say. That's a bad one. So, man. So police were once again stumped. I mean, they thought they had, rid him or, chased him away with a crate of tomatoes, and then he comes back killing 2-year-olds. And not a good look for the city. They were stumped, and rumblings began to suggest that perhaps the Axeman wasn't really a man at all. Some claimed that he might be a woman or a midget, it says. I don't like using that word, or a LP, little person. Enabling him to slip through the small space that he cut in the door, but others maintain that he was a creature from the world beyond. How else, they question, could all of the witnesses describe the killer as being a large man when only a small person could have slipped through the chiseled panels in the rear doors? The killer
that's stupid. That's fucking stupid. I'll let you finish, and I'll tell you why that's fucking stupid.
Okay, it says the killer had to have come in through supernatural means, as each door was still locked when the attacks were discovered. And why is that stupid?
Okay, well, first of all, my biggest point is
He's a shapeshifter.
They're saying that he might be a little person, where all the people who have seen him has said that he was a tall motherfucker. First of all,
well, yeah.
Not only that,
2 of them in a trench coat. 3 of them in a trench coat.
Jesus Christ. Okay. That's fucked up. And so,
like the little rascals.
I'm sorry, but if you're tall as fuck, you knock out this panel, you can reach and hit that doorknob, unlock that shit, and then just lock on your way out. I know one of our friends, he has this huge gate around his apartment, and my arms are long enough that I can just like slip it through one slot and I can open the door.
Yeah, but then they said that it was all locked from the inside, and I think all the...
If you can unlock it, you can lock it.
I guess you're right, but some of them were like coming through window. I mean, leaving. You
could be
windows.
Manute Ball. You can be 7 feet tall, but 2 feet wide, and slip right through that shit.
This has midget written all over it.
Jesus Christ!
I'm kidding. So,
little person, you asshole.
Shapeshifter, though. What do you think about shapeshifter?
What do I think about shapeshifters?
Well, I just mean, do you think that this...
I'm trying to see if there's a way I can get into that.
Mice can fit inside a dime hole, right?
I've seen you slide through many small holes.
I'm not a mouse.
You're not. But I wouldn't go as far to say you're not mousy.
I got broad shoulders, dude.
You do.
I got killing hands, broad shoulders, and the legs of a gazelle. Cheetahs are faster. Fuck. Okay.
But that's a humble thing to say.
It's very humble.
Yeah. Like, you're fast, but I'm not gonna say I'm the fastest.
I'm not. Yeah. I'm fast, but I've been caught before and torn to pieces. So, Uncle Terry. Okay. So following.
Fuck you, Terry. You fucking asshole. I don't want to sit your lap in Thanksgiving.
So, Following the Cordemelia murders, whatever her last name is, Cordemelia murders.
Yeah, don't respect the dead.
I'm sorry.
Woof.
Okay. Following the Cordemelia murders, New Orleans was again filled with terror. The police stated that they believed all the crimes to have been committed by the same man, a quote-unquote bloodthirsty maniac filled with a passion for human slaughter. And perhaps they were right. On Friday, March 14th, 1919, the editor of the New Orleans Picayune newspaper received a letter from a man who claimed to be the Axeman. The letter appeared as follows.
Hell, March 13th, 1919. Esteemed mortal of New Orleans, the Axeman. They have never caught me, and they never will. They have never seen me, for I am invisible, even as the ether that surrounds your earth. I am not a human being, but a spirit and a demon from the hottest hell. I am what you Orleanians and your foolish police call the Axeman. When I see fit, I shall come and claim other victims. I alone know who they shall be. I shall leave no clue except my bloody axe, besmeared with blood and brains of he whom I have sent below to keep me company. If you wish, you may tell the police to be careful not to rile me. Of course, I am a reasonable spirit. I take no offense at the way they have conducted their investigations in the past. In fact, they have been so utterly stupid as to not only amuse me, but His Satanic Majesty, Francis Joseph, etc. But tell them beware. Let them not try to discover what I am, for it would be better that they would never be born than you incur the wrath of the Axeman. I don't think there is any need of such a warning, for I feel sure the police will always dodge me, as they have in the past. They are wise and know how to keep away from all harm. Undoubtedly, you Orleanians think of me as the most horrible murderer, which I am, but I could be much worse if I wanted to. If I wished, I could pay a visit to your city every night. At will, I could slay thousands of your best citizens and the worst, for I am in close relationship with the Angel of Death. Now, to be exact, at 12:15 early time on next Tuesday night, I am going to pass over New Orleans. In my infinite mercy, I am going to make a little proposition to you people. Here it is. I am very fond of jazz music, and I swear by all the devils in the nether regions that every person shall be spared in whose home a jazz band is in full swing at the time I have mentioned. If everyone has a jazz band going, well then, so much the better for you people. One thing is certain, and that is that some of you people who do not jazz it out on the specific Tuesday night, if there be any, will get the axe. Well, as I am cold and crave the warmth of my native Tartarus, and it is about time I leave your earthly home, I will cease my discourse, hoping that thou wilt publish this, that it may go well with thee. I have been, am, and will be the worst spirit that ever existed, either in fact or realm of fancy. The Axeman.
If we don't get some sort of a podcast award off of that performance, we might as well call it quits, huh?
Yeah, I agree.
That was really good.
That was Uncle Terry.
Oh,
That was Uncle Terry.
yeah, yeah. Sometimes we have, like this episode, we have to record over Skype and stuff, so we're not in the same room. I didn't realize Uncle Terry stepped in.
I'm glad that you weren't looking at the screen because he was full blown naked. So
Well, I was full blown naked myself. I was doing other things. That's why I was looking at the screen.
So I mentioned, but this was on March 13th of 1919,
Okay.
which means that tomorrow, what is it, Wednesday,
Yeah.
is the 100th year anniversary that this letter was published.
Oh, fuck. Well, I mean, this episode's not coming out until the 15th, but
No, but regardless,
it's pretty dope.
it's pretty cool.
Pretty.
So 100
good.
years since the Axeman struck. So we're right in the right pocket, you know?
Yeah, we're in that pocket.
Of feeling that Axeman energy. So the people of New Orleans did their best to follow the Axeman's instructions to the letter, which was fucking crazy that he just loves jazz. We didn't even talk about that.
Yeah.
He loves jazz music, and he's like,
I mean, if you're from New Orleans, you better love your jazz.
it's true. So he just said, he told everybody, hey, if you're in a jazz club, I won't kill you.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think that's going to, you know?
Sleep with my saxophone.
Yeah, so restaurants and clubs all over town were jammed with revelers. Friends and neighbors gathered in their homes to, quote-unquote, jazz it up, as the Axeman said, and midnight found the city alive with activity. Banjos, guitars, and mandolins strummed into the night, while Joseph Davila, a well-known local composer, created the theme song for the night. He titled his composition The Mysterious Axeman's Jazz, and in typical New Orleans fashion, it became a huge hit.
Yeah,
Cool song.
sure it did.
Yeah, I mean, any song kind of
Saving
related.
lives.
That's like, you know, any kind of thing related to a crime or a murder or something like that. It kinda
Kissing babies, saving lives.
Yeah, it kind of sells well. So when the sun rose the next morning, it was learned that not a single attack had occurred that night. Even though it's doubtful that every home was filled with the sound of jazz, the Axeman passed the city by, perhaps well satisfied by the celebration that was held in his honor. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. You got like his own little parade going on, you know?
Trying to send a message, you just kill 6 people, hurt 6 people, and then you start laying down the law.
Not a bad gig.
I need more little pump in the airs, so I'm going to start killing people, and I'm going to leave a note that says, as long as every household is playing Little Pump.
That would be quite a night.
I mean, it's not that much different than what I live in. Everybody's listening to Little Pump in my circle.
It's true. I'd be like, yeah, you can just come kill me. It's cool. I don't mind. just do it.
Little Pump or death?
So a few more break-ins and assaults happened to the good people of New Orleans, but not deaths, just some split scalps, knocked out teeth, and close calls.
Just a little things.
So he did attack after this a couple more times, but they were like kind of close calls of people like getting away, or he ran away when someone else showed up. But
yeah,
he was definitely still attacking people at this point. Then in October, the Axeman appeared for a final slaughter. A grocer named Mike Pepitone was butchered in his bed during the night. His wife and 6 children, asleep in the next room, were not touched. That's what I meant when I said like people thought he was going after the women and the men were in the way, but like he straight went after this guy this time. And I'm like, and I think he just killed witnesses if they saw him or something like that. So
typically I think people do.
Yeah, but he's not really good at killing them because like even the lady who lost the 2-year-old, like I think she was still alive, but her skull was fractured, but like her husband died. So
yeah,
I mean, I don't really know. He's kind of sloppy. So the usual clues had been left behind, but the authorities were no closer to learning the identity they were looking for. This was the last murder attributed to the Axeman. He was never seen or heard from in New Orleans again. No one would ever learn the true identity of the Axeman. Or would they? Because more than a year after the Axeman's final appearance, a former New Orleans man named Joseph Mumfree was shot to death on the Pacific coast. He had been killed by a woman named Esther Albano, who was later discovered to be the widow of the Axeman's last victim, Mike Pepitone. So this lady just shot some guy on the Pacific coast somewhere,
Fuck yeah.
and they don't.
I mean, hopefully, fuck yeah.
They don't know if she tracked him down, but it says the police began working to try and untangle the mystery that probably linked Mumphrey's murder to the Axeman case. Some curious coincidences were revealed during the investigation. Mumphrey had once been the leader of a band of blackmailers in New Orleans who had preyed on Italians. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still blackmailers out there, but they're all like online now. You know, there's never like he's in a band of them. I guess.
I got your dick pics.
Hey, Peppertone, come out here. I got your little pepperoni here on the silver. What they print
Platter?
on? No, you remember that's on this. I don't fucking know how they used to print pictures on like silver pieces of metal.
Yeah,
that was the joke I was going for. Fucking didn't work. God damn it. Shit. So, Peppertone's pepperoni on the silver platter.
Yep.
Yeah, so he had also been, for a separate matter, sent to prison just after the first axe murders in 1911, and in the summer of 1918, he was paroled. At the same time, the Axeman appeared again. Immediately after the Peppertone murder, Mumphrey had left New Orleans for the coast, and strangely, the Axeman had vanished as well. In spite of this, there was no actual evidence to link him to any of the crimes. So just kind of like a guess at this point, because everything kind of lined up perfectly. But
so what happened to the widow that killed him?
They didn't really say what happened to her. Maybe she just got away with it. Honestly, maybe.
They knew who she was, though. Like, I mean, like if they could have questioned her, maybe she'd be like, "Here's the evidence." I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing. That's a good point. I don't know. Fuck you, dude.
The mystery continues.
Yeah, I guess.
Not bad. I didn't try to just like throw you to the wolves there.
If they found anything, it would be on the wiki
exactly.
or any of these stories I read.
Exactly.
So, just to wrap this up, next time you're drunk and Italian in New Orleans, make sure not to turn down the wrong alley, because you might just get a swift hack from the Axeman.
Or you just, play some jazz on your phone and you walk.
True. Or just don't be Italian.
Yeah, that's easy to do. Just don't do it.
Just shave your mustache.
Whoa.
What? I'm Italian. I'm allowed to say...
Are you?
Yes.
Okay. You do have a mustache.
Thank you.
Kind of.
It's a beard.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean,
okay.
From what I can see.
I'm done with you. I'm really... You know what? You're up to here. You're up to here.
I'm up to 3 feet?
You're up to... That's 8 feet. I'm 8 feet tall and strong as shit.
These ceilings aren't even 8 feet.
They are. Anyway. Okay.
My turn?
Yeah, why don't you tell your piece of shit story, okay?
Okay.
I'm tired. I'm tired of you, man.
So, before I start, I want to say that the story ended up being a lot worse than I expected, and there's some graphic things in there. When I say worse, I don't mean bad. I mean, like, horrific. And so...
David texted me today, and he's like, the story took a really gruesome turn. So
yeah.
We're going to find out what that's about.
So I did leave out some things that I thought were too much to say, that were just ridiculous, and you can research on your own if you're that curious, but it was things that I did not feel comfortable enough to share or appropriate.
And you say a lot of stuff on this podcast that make me uncomfortable, so this must have to be real bad.
There's a certain line that I do not want to...
You talked about Unit 731.
Yeah, which was bad. Okay, so today I'm going to tell you about a man by the name of Randy Woodfield. Do you know who this is?
I'll call him Randy.
Do you know about this guy?
No.
So my mind was fucking blown when I was writing this, because there's one aspect that that comes to me personally for like who I am, and then I realized how like this entire thing took place in where I grew up, in like every fucking town this happened in, I've been to multiple times. I spent a lot of my time in, and I never heard about this story until today.
Okay.
And I like called my dad, and I was just like,
"You know Randy?"
Well, yeah,
what?
I did call him like, "Hey, do you know this guy?" for certain reasons. And
about the same age as your dad and stuff?
He's the exact same age as my dad.
Oh, shit.
And they also worked for the same place and stuff like that. Yeah.
KFC on Woodward?
Yep. But yeah, all right, so I'll get into this. So yeah, Randy was born December 26th, 1950. So the same exact age as my father. Like I just said, my dad was born 1950.
Damn.
And by the way, happy birthday, Dad. It is Saturday.
It's his birthday? Oh,
Well,
his birthday's
this
the day before mine?
This comes out Friday. My dad's birthday is
16.
Yeah.
My birthday's on the 17th.
Yep. And
Happy birthday, Dad.
and like I was saying, this won't be the only thing that my father and him had in common.
Will he be 69?
We're not talking about that right now.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Hey.
So Randy was born in Salem, Oregon, the state capital, and grew up as the third child of a prominent Newport family, one of the many awesome coastal Oregon cities.
Is that named after the cigarettes?
It is not. I believe it's older than the cigarettes, but I can't be quoted on that.
I'm surprised they named the town after cigarettes.
There's Newport, California. Calm down.
No, that's not named after the
Yeah,
cigarettes.
that one's off limits. Don't touch that one.
your shit town is.
Yeah. So Randy started showing signs of issues when he was going through his teenage years, and I know everyone has their rough teen years. These were a little bit different. In his teens, Randy was arrested for indecent exposure.
Oh, showing his pepperoni stick.
Yeah, and this was when he was in high school. But, you know, that was the 60s, and people didn't look too deep into that.
Boys will be boys, as they say in the Supreme Court.
Yeah, exactly. That fucking bullshit. So Randy would grow up and become an outstanding athlete, playing wide receiver, and he ended up playing college football at Portland State. Go Vikings. And having a good career in college, he was also involved with the Campus Crusade for Christ, a Christian student group.
Okay, I don't want to support anything this guy's doing right now. You're saying like you're kind of building him up right now. I know you're gonna tear him down in a second, but I kind of don't want to back anything he's doing because I don't know what he's about to do.
See, yeah, that's part of storytelling. Is you got to show like, oh, you know, a promising future, great
Look at
athlete,
this guy.
part of the Christian group. Randy's college coach, Gary Hamblett, remembers Randy very well and said, when he was with me...
Randy, I know Randy. He showed me his dick a lot.
Well, hold on. I'm kidding.
Okay. Wait, Penn State or where?
Yeah, Portland State. Close enough.
Sandusky.
So he said, when he was with me, he was the nicest, most gentlemanly kid I ever knew. He was quiet and polite, hardworking, and real coachable. He sucked in everything I tried to coach him.
What?
Yeah.
Why do you use that adjective?
It's the 60s. I don't know. And his teammates would say things like he was soft-spoken, kind of a loner, didn't have a lot of friends.
Oh, those are, watch out.
Yeah. And
some of them go on to be CEOs, so I'm not,
Yeah.
Some of those loners. Some of them go to wear your mom's face.
I'm sorry, what?
Like they kill your mom and they wear her face.
Oh,
around the town.
okay. I thought it was a sexual joke.
No. Nope.
So while he was in college, Randy would be arrested on several occasions for petty crimes such as vandalizing the apartment of his ex-girlfriend.
With his penis.
It didn't go into too much detail,
Okay.
but I assume it was just him trashing her place.
Yep.
And even more public indecency.
I knew it.
And even more public indecency.
It's America's favorite pastime. Did they go into detail about that? Did he have a trench coat? Did he have what was he working with?
Oh,
right
we'll
now?
get into it.
What are we working with right now?
So, close to being a college dropout, with 3 semesters left of getting his bachelor's in physical education, a life-changing opportunity fell in his lap.
Okay.
Randy was drafted in the NFL to one of the one and only Green Bay Packers. Go Pack, go!
Okay, wait. I don't want to get into this, but I think your dad might know him.
No, and but this name leaving a chilling, terrible, horrendous dent in the incredible franchise that is Green Bay.
Don't worry, nobody knows Randy. Nobody knows Randy.
Well, on a good note, Randy would be cut from the Packers during training after
Showing his penis.
what was called a series of indecent exposure arrests.
Oh my god, dude, those are the worst people to show your penis.
It's like, goddamn, Rand, keep the hog in your pants. You're in the fucking NFL.
What I'm saying is, it's never okay to show your penis to anybody without their consent.
Yeah.
But definitely don't go showing it to the largest people on the planet.
Well, no. It wasn't him throwing it at his teammates.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay. Well, still not great, but it's really funny. I like picturing him trying to show like a lineman and the guy just kicking the shit out of him.
In the locker room, like, hey, buddy, ha.
Because he was a wide receiver, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so... And he's probably a big guy, but linemen are another breed.
They're thick boys.
Yeah.
So Randy would then decide to play football for a semi-pro team. The Manitowoc Chiefs.
Manitowoc. Is this Canadian?
I believe this was still in Wisconsin.
Okay.
But then again, he got arrested after a dozen flashing incidents, getting him suspended from the team.
Okay, now we could open up a can of worms here and get into discussion, but you know how like some people, it sounds like I'm about to defend Randy, which I'm not.
Okay.
But you know, some people are like, they have like foot fetishes. Some people like being tied up and stuff like that.
Continue.
I'm just saying, I think this is his like fetish, obviously, but there's can you really control your fetishes? I kind of feel bad for the dude. I mean, he probably
should if it's harming other people.
I get that. But maybe they could just role play a little bit or something like that, because he needs to. No,
he needs to find a girl
That's what role playing is. I'm saying find a girl
okay.
or a guy who would be down with this, and then he flashes them, and they're like, "Oh my god, Randy!"
I thought you were trying to, propose this idea. It's like it's just a prank, bro. It's just my fetish, bro.
Oh.
Like, chill. It's fine. Just my fetish. So as you can imagine, for anybody who works their way to getting drafted in the NFL, this was a pretty devastating thing for Randy, losing something he worked so hard.
No pun intended.
Yeah. Or, and it, it could, result in some catastrophic spiral. Randy would leave Wisconsin late of 1975 and move back to Portland, Oregon. And
we don't want him.
Yeah. Not soon after his return to Portland, a new evil walked the streets, and reports of a knife-wielding man who was forcing women to perform oral sex on him, and then he would rob them.
It's
not funny
anymore. Is this where you said it took a turn?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I was having a good time with the creepy guy flashing his penis, which is obviously a real situation. I know people who have been flashing. It's not a funny situation, but it's funny when it's not.
You're not connected to it?
I guess so. I don't know. It's kind of fucked up to say that too, but you know what I mean. Where it's kind of funny to think of a guy being like, "Hey, my penis," and it was like, "You're disgusting." He's like, "Yeah," and like runs away. But this is a whole new level of it's kind of like a serial killer, honestly, where.
Serial flasher.
Yeah, no, honestly,
it was Phyllis. I mean, come on, it's Phyllis. It's funny.
Show me your penis, Toby. No, but I was gonna say that serial killers, they do stuff where like they would first break into somebody's house, and they would feel that thrill of just like being in somebody's house that they weren't supposed to, and then eventually that thrill is not enough for them. So he was probably flashing people.
No, he's 110% on the thrill thing.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, the flashing wasn't enough for him, and then he's like, I need to step this up, and I also don't have like consequences now because I'm not like I can't get kicked off of anything because I've been cut already. Obviously,
I've lost everything.
Obviously, there's the law, but yeah, exactly. He probably went off the deep end too. So
exactly,
it's a combination of both.
Yeah. So I completely support what you're saying about that because by the end of the story, you'll understand.
Mm-hmm.
So. The police were on the hunt for this sick piece of shit, and
I mean, it's pretty obvious that it's him at this point, right? Do they? I'll let you tell. Never mind. I'm not gonna.
I mean, it's not
because he left for a while, and all of his other
he just came back and he started doing this stuff.
Like crimes are in other states, and they don't okay.
So the police were on the hunt for this sick piece of shit, and put out female officers to act as decoys in an attempt to lure him out.
Hell no.
On March 3rd, 1975. Randy was arrested after being caught with marked money from one of the undercover cops, which is confusing to me.
Does that mean
like the cop, did it? Instead of just arresting him right there? Like, that's something that kind of confused me.
Maybe she just let him rob her. And
That's what I'm hoping.
Because obviously she's wearing a wire.
Yeah.
You'd hope. If there's something going on, the cops are going to come in and swoop in. So maybe she's just like dropped all the money and ran. And then
that's what I hope.
Yeah, I hope.
They didn't really go into that, and that kind of made me
I think so.
very confused.
I think so.
So in Randy's interrogation, he confessed to the crimes and said that it was because of his poor sexual impulse control that he said was given to him from steroid abuse.
Oh.
Which I don't buy. I don't buy that at all.
No, but it's a thing that you don't really think about.
Yeah, but he had like these perverted things going on with the whole flashing.
No, it was obviously an excuse for like some deep-seated psychological things going on, but he probably doesn't even know it's deep-seated psychological stuff. So he's like, steroids, I don't know.
Yeah. So Randy would plead guilty and was given...
Oh, they caught him. They caught him from the bill.
Yeah. He would plead guilty and was given 10 years in prison, but was freed on parole after 4 fucking years.
Yeah, that's what usually happens. Like good
really?
behavior and that kind of shit.
Horse
You get
shit.
like half your sentence.
Horse shit.
It's like, what's the point of giving somebody like a sentence and then just cutting it in half? Like every single... I mean, not every time, but like...
I just feel like violent sexual crimes should not ever be given parole.
Yeah, honestly. It's...
Like... You know, selling drugs or something, like, I'm not trying to, like, say that's okay, but I'm just saying, like, something that's not violent. Like, he was threatening women with knives and forcing them to give him oral sex. Like, that person should not be let out under half of their fucking serve. Like,
yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Do you think that they should be let out at all? I mean, like,
I think he should have gotten more than 10 years.
Okay. I mean, that's a fair argument, for sure. Yeah. I mean... It's really easy to say that from like a standpoint where you don't get to see these people on an individual level, but like there's also people who defend like, oh, they've changed, they went through therapy and stuff, and you're like, I don't know if they did or if they're just gonna go back to their same old shit, because a lot of them do go back. Because it's
this
like
is
impulses, you know. It's people go back to sex, and if your thing is flashing people and holding people at knife point, it's like you might eventually end up there, or you have to be very strong-willed to not do that. So I don't know. It's kind of fucking terrifying.
What I was saying in my next paragraph is the United States prison system can do one of two things for people. Can help people learn from their crimes, you know, helping them out, hopefully leading a better life, or it can toss people back into the free world to continue to commit crimes.
Yeah, so
you think that's fair to say? That's, you know, 50,
for sure.
I mean, I'm not going to say 50-50, but it's one of two ways.
Yeah, a lot of people just get like, they learn and they go, I don't ever want to go back there, so they just never do that stuff again.
They clean it up and they fix stuff.
And other people just like, you know, there's addicts and there's people who aren't addicts in this world. You know, people who casually drink, and then there's people who abuse alcohol. So it's like, there's, you know, I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, this is not the end of my story. Would you want to guess which path he took?
He took the path where he became a Christian missionary, and nope, not that one, huh?
No, that's what he did. He went, he went overseas. He started building schools for kids. No.
Oh, wow.
So on October 9th, 1980, an X-ray technician and former classmate of Randy was raped and murdered in her apartment in downtown Portland. Her body was discovered 2 days later by her fiancé. She was stabbed repetitively in the neck.
I don't have much to say about Randy anymore.
It gets worse.
This is what you said about the whole, like, taking a very dark turn.
There were much worse things that happened in the story that I left out.
Motherfucker Randy, I just, like, I didn't defend him, but, like, I was like, oh, maybe some people could, you know.
You tried to understand them, but no.
Yeah.
So Randy and his victim were very close, and they even sent each other mail while he was in prison.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
They were friends from high school?
Yes. Which is what the fuck? Really?
But like more than friends, or just like...
I don't know, but like I don't care how good of friends you are with someone, when they go to prison for forcing people to do sexual acts at knife point, how do you not remove them from your life?
Yeah. I mean, some people just have some sympathy for people, and
there has to be a line.
Sometimes it helps people, and sometimes it backfires.
Yeah. So the family of the victim immediately told law enforcement to question Randy, where he was questioned, but he refused to sit down for a polygraph test. The police were certain it was him, but his blood type did not match the semen found, so no charges were filed.
Oh, that's the problem. They're checking blood to semen. Is that what?
I think there is a small thing to it, but I'm no expert.
Oh.
and this was the 80s.
Yours.
Yeah.
Everyone. I talked to. I feel this. You're a semen expert.
I'm not a semen expert.
Then why did you write that on your goddamn application, sir?
It's the only way I can get this
This
spot
is
on the podcast.
This is KFC, okay? You can't be writing this on your application. Do you know or do you not know how to fry chicken?
So that was a close one, right, Rand? Maybe you shouldn't be killing people that you know that closely.
That's fucking insane.
But needless to say, Randy was not a smart man. 1 month later...
I'm not a smart man, but I know what love is.
1 month later...
Forrest Gump.
Come on.
I'm
1
sorry.
month later, on November 27th, Randy would arrive at the home of a 22-year-old woman who was close friends with one of his ex-girlfriends, planning to assault her. The girl had a 24-year-old male with her when Randy arrived, but unfortunately, the two could not protect themselves, and the two were found bound and shot to death execution style in the home.
Oh my god.
The victim's 32 caliber revolver was missing from the scene.
Okay.
And again, with Randy's connection to the victim, the police pulled him and questioned him for the murders, but law enforcement could not find any concrete evidence on the shitbird.
Was anybody raped in this?
It was not clarified, but I can only assume.
Yeah, I mean...
It's kind of a common trend for him.
Yeah, it seems like that he was there for one reason, and I don't know. That's crazy. I mean, he just totally switched up his... Do you think he was trying to switch up his MO so like they wouldn't trace it back to the same person? Like, they wouldn't be like, oh, there's a guy going around stabbing people? Like, man, I don't know.
Well, so, after being pulled in twice for 3 murders... Jesus... Myrtle.
That's not funny.
It's not funny.
You can't do that right now. This is too intense.
Yeah. So after getting pulled in twice for 3 murders and slipping away,
Myrtles.
Rand decided to switch it up a bit. And on December 9th of 80, Randy, wearing a fake beard...
Classic Randy.
Yep. Wearing a fake beard, held up a Vancouver, Washington gas station at gunpoint. And, so, if you don't know, Vancouver, Washington is...
Do you know Vancouver, Washington?
Yeah, it's on the border of Portland.
Okay.
It's like where it turns into Washington.
Okay.
And 4 nights later, in my beautiful hometown, Eugene, Oregon, he raided an ice cream parlor. And the next day, a drive-in restaurant in Albany, which was that was one of the places my mother grew up. So, like, this is what I'm telling you. Like,
Albany
this
is close to...
Eugene.
Okay.
But, that's what I was saying. It's like all this shit happened so close to where I grew up, and I never heard about this.
Is the ice cream parlor still there?
It didn't have a name, so I don't know.
Okay, so maybe you've been in it.
Yeah, I mean, I can think of one very prominent ice cream parlor in Eugene.
Baskin Robbins.
Oh, man, Prince Puckler. Shout out Prince Pucklers. Obama went there once.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
oh, my God. Randy Obama?
No. Then on December 21st, Randy and his fake beard cornered a waitress in a bathroom and forced her to masturbate him at gunpoint.
Please finish this so I could either make a joke or I don't know.
Yeah.
I need to cope through this right now.
There's not going to be too much funniness in here.
No, you're making it hard for me right now.
I know, I'm sorry. I'm going to try to... I'm trying to get some funnies in there. I'm sorry. So not much time later, in January of 81, the law enforcement had given Randy the nickname the I-5 Bandit, being that his crimes were along the I-5.
Okay.
And on January 8th, Randy returned to the First Vancouver gas station to rob them again at gunpoint, forcing the female attendant to expose her breast after emptying the register.
Randy.
So he's just...
Randy. He's Randy.
He's Randy.
Damn it, Randy. Fucking goddamn it.
You just need the internet.
Honestly, kind of.
So,
fucking asshole.
Yeah. 3 days later, he robbed a market in Eugene, and then the next day, he was shot and wounded by a female grocery clerk in Sutherland, Oregon.
Boom.
About fucking time.
Damn, dude. Okay, I was a grocery clerk, and I tell you, I almost got yelled at every time I brought my gun into work.
Really? At Sprouts? They got mad?
Sprouts. I worked at Sprouts. I worked at Costco. I worked at G&G. They always got mad. I'm like, oh, I could have a Gatlin gun in here. You guys are going to freak out right now?
You put it in a shopping cart and wheeled it in.
With my army helmet and my giant cigar.
So it's about fucking time someone shot him. If I was a female working in a gas station or restaurant in that area, or had a loved one, like, daughter, sister, like, anyone, be like, you know what? Take a gun with you, huh? Because this guy is just all over the fucking place.
Yeah, I think a gun would be good, but I'd more get like a pocket knife or something like that. But I don't know. I mean, guns are. I just mean because like guns are like harder to come by and harder to get permits for and stuff like that. Like, I just be like, here's a pocket knife. Like, if you show that to somebody and they're gonna like, you never really think that somebody's gonna be like have another gun and be like, hey, do this at gunpoint. You know what I mean? You think that somebody's gonna give you shit and then you flash the knife or you just bring the knife out and they walk away. You never really think that.
But this dude's got a gun and he's killed multiple people.
If this shit's happening right now in my town or like on the I-5 and somebody I love works on the I-5 or I work on the I-5, I'd be like, yeah, I guess we're going to the gun store.
Yeah, get a little pocket snub nose.
Get a little ankle gun.
Yep. So on January 14th, a man fitting the description invaded a home, and this was the one that I didn't want to talk about. And just imagine like the worst thing you could imagine happen. And 4 days later in Salem, a man with a fake beard broke into another person's home and sexually assaulted 2 women, killing one and leaving one fatally wounded to eventually die.
He used the gun.
Yeah. No, it didn't specify what he used.
Okay, so I mean, yeah, I mean the first one, the first one, I don't want to pester you for the details because
you know what? Actually, no, the second one lived.
Oh, she did.
Second one did live.
Okay,
that's right. Yeah, sorry.
See,
he left her thinking she was gonna die, and she ended up surviving.
It's interesting because he's going through like these phases where he's like, he's flashing and then he's kind of doing stuff to like women probably walking on the road. And now he was doing stuff to like women in, like restaurants or gas stations, places of business. And now he's kind of moved on to homes, which is like kind of interesting where
he can't control himself. If he sees someone that he's attractive to, he probably just followed him home.
Yeah. Or just like, maybe he's just trying, I don't know. You think the home would be like the safest one because there's nobody else around. So like that's probably like his new MO is like the homes and stuff like that. So fuck me, god damn it, Randy, you suck.
Yeah. So then he traveled to Eugene, Medford, and Grants Pass, which I all spent significant time in growing up and stuff. And that's all going up. Or no, sorry, that's all going down towards California.
Oh. Wow.
And so he went to those 3 places between January 26th and the 29th. Assaulting 2 women and robbing multiple places in each place. So it's one of those things that, if he was going to go rob a place and there's a guy there, it's like, oh, okay, just give me the money. But if you had a female,
Oh, I see. Where like the money was the motive, and then like if he could get like a little bit more out of it, if there's a woman there, he would definitely take advantage of the situation. Yeah,
for me, I think more that he was completely sexually driven. I think it was like he's going to go in there, and if there's not a girl, like, or a woman, he's just gonna rob them. But
that's the thing too, where like you can't keep this up if you don't have money to pay for gas and food. So he needs to rob as well. Yeah. And if there's no women there, then he's like, well, fuck. Oh, I'll move on to the next one.
Yeah. But he doesn't stop there, and I honestly don't think he would have ever stopped if he had the choice.
Probably.
And on February 3rd, 1981, a 37-year-old woman and her daughter were found dead in a bed together in their home in Mountain Gate, California. And it's a town that's north of Redding.
Oh, I've been to Redding.
So it's pretty close to Oregon.
Yeah.
And each of them had been shot multiple times in the head. And that same day in Redding, a female clerk was kidnapped, raped, sodomized, and held during a holdup, like robbing the place.
How does he do that? How does he get away with this with nobody showing up every single time? Is he doing it like 4 a.m?
I have no idea.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
What blows my mind. And how close they all are together.
Seems like he takes his time at every single fucking place he goes to.
Yeah. So the next day, an identical crime was committed in Eureka.
Oh, I know where Eureka is.
Yeah. So I'm assuming, that means that he also kidnapped, raped, and sodomized and stole from the store the next fucking day. And then the same man was identified robbing a place in Ashland, a motel in Ashland.
I know where Ashland is.
Which is Oregon, right on the border.
Yep.
And 5 days later in Corvallis, Oregon, where Oregon State University is.
Yeah, I've heard of that too.
Corvallis, Oregon, where a man matching the I-5 bandit description with a beard. He also had sometimes, it wasn't always, but sometimes he would have a white piece of tape on his nose. For like football players used to wear that to keep their nasal
Nasals?
passage open
yeah,
to
yeah.
breathe and stuff. So like sometimes he'd wear that too, just like.
What the fuck?
And so yeah, he held up a fabric store, raping the clerk and a customer before fleeing with the money.
Well, now it just seems like he's not even. Like you said, it is sexually driven because like I wouldn't even think of like a fabric store having a lot of money.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
You think gas station because they probably dealt in mostly cash and.
It's probably an isolated building that didn't have any cars in the parking lot or some shit like
the
that.
cops would be like kind of more in the area and like dealing with this, but
Yeah, like looking
Jesus.
back on it, like it's amazing it lasted this long.
Yeah.
So on February 12th of 81, robberies matching Randy's description occurred in Vancouver, Washington, Olympia, and Bellevue, all resulting in sexual assaults.
Jesus Christ, catch him already, please.
Yeah. So Randy was a weird fucking guy, obviously.
Wait, what?
What? You don't think that's weird?
He was weird?
And this is kind of funny, but also the results really fucked up. But he thought it'd be a good idea to get the old gang together, so he threw a Valentine's party in Portland's downtown Marriott Hotel, inviting all of his friends from college. But no one showed up. Yeah.
Oh.
Which is funny.
Ha
but-
ha ha ha. But that's like scary too, because then like
Well,
now he's mad and probably even more horny and
this is when
randy
it's
and-
not funny. In his rage of failure,
Ah, there we go.
Yeah.
Fucking guy can't handle some rejection.
yeah, he drove to Beaverton to a house of an 18-year-old that he met while he was working as a bouncer at a bar, and raped her and shot her in the head, instantly killing her. And the police believed that she allowed Randy into her house, like it wasn't a break and entering, because they found, the setting. There were 2 glasses of wine, and she was making coffee and stuff, and like it looked like she was welcoming him in, and then he killed her.
Oh,
and
God.
yeah. So
What a dick.
yeah, this guy's just about the worst. And by February 28th, the police were positive that it was Randy. Like they the whole time they really thought it was him through all the other stuff, and they're working on how to prove it was him. Detectives of the Marion County put together a call log showing that Randy had been placed using his credit card for like phone booths and other phone services.
Okay.
So they tracked his credit card to phone booths in the area where all these crimes were happening. So it's like fucking got him. And on March 5th of 81, Rand was brought into the Salem Police Department and interrogated after one of his the victims, the lady that I'm pretty sure it's the one that was wounded but survived.
Oh yeah.
She identified him in a lineup, which led a search warrant to his Springfield apartment. And Springfield is the neighboring town to where I grew up.
Okay.
And that's where, like, I used to work in Springfield at a steel factory. Like, I know Springfield like the back of my hand, which this is where I was like, what
Oh,
the
so he
fuck?
lived there. I mean,
Yeah.
you weren't alive while he
No,
lived
no,
there,
no,
but
no.
still.
Yeah, I wasn't even...
Creepy.
It's still just like,
Yeah.
holy... Like, it still blows my mind I didn't know about this shit, and I grew up
Yeah.
all around this place. And so they searched his... they got a search warrant to search his apartment in Springfield, where the police found a spent .32 shell casing inside of a racquetball case, along with a roll of tape that would match the tape that was used on his victims.
Oh, fuck.
So, like I was saying earlier, the .32 was the revolver he took from his second victim's house.
Yeah. Oh, so that was their gun that he used.
Pretty sure. I mean, they didn't confirm that. I don't know if they ever found the gun, but it was a .32 revolver that was taken from the house.
Fuck.
And yeah. So on March 7th, Randy was taken into custody, and on the 16th, indictments for murder, rape, sodomy, attempted kidnapping, armed robbery, and illegal possession of firearms were initiated from various jurisdictions in Washington and Oregon. And on June 26th of 81, a 3.5-hour deliberation would result in Randy being convicted of all counts and sentenced to life in prison plus 90 years.
Fuck yeah.
And a second trial would actually take place in October, and it was
He already got the life in 90.
this just added on 35 more years.
Okay. People kind of want to, close the book on a chapter of their life or like a...
You have to give closure to the victims.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's why they usually have these. Because like he's in life imprisonment and he has 90 years, but you also kind of like... You want to stick it to him
125 years on top.
Yeah, make him go through another thing where like they have to face you. You know what I mean? It's like, motherfucker. So god damn, dude.
Yes. And by 1990, the police had discovered more victims, and Randy was suspected to have as many as 44 homicides.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say 44 victims, but like not even like I thought you just meant like sexual harassment, rape or whatever, but like 44 just straight up murders.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's still alive today, spending his life sentence in a Salem, Oregon prison.
He's in Salem?
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm surprised they didn't. Is that a Supermax or something like that?
I don't know. Who knows? I don't know my prisons very well, but
what a piece of shit. I fucking hate people like that.
Yeah.
It's just like I don't know. It's just like
the craziest thing to me is when these situations happen, he's been married 3 times while he's in prison by pen pals, divorced twice.
I don't know. That shit drives me crazy. Where it's like
how R. Kelly recently had his bail posted for his unpaid child support by his fans.
Really?
And it's like, come on.
I mean, there's people who like true crime. I mean, I like true crime. I find these people fascinating. And there's people who like true crime, and then they fall in love with these people, and they're romanticized with them, and they don't personally know them, but they fall in love with the fact it's like Billy the Kid, where you're an outlaw, you don't play by the rules, you're a bad boy, and then they kind of gloss over the fact of like
how many people they've hurt and killed.
Murdered and raped and horribly maimed and tortured people, and you're like, what the fuck don't you get about this? Like, this person is like, they don't deserve to be alive. And now you're giving them the satisfaction of like falling in love with them. Like, I don't know the psychological problems behind that, but it kind of irritates me that these people are giving these people in prison even a sliver of happiness. I want their existence to be hell, not to have a pen pal that's going to be nice to them. They don't deserve to be nice too. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. It's frustrating and it's out of my hands, but I don't know. You sometimes you want people to act differently, but you can only control what you do. So I don't know.
Yep. So that's the I-5 killer / bandit.
God damn. I see what you mean by the twist and turn that happened, that you wanted to kind of do a little hometown what's going on here, but
like I knew he was a murderer, but I didn't know it was such a so much sexual crime to it. And then I started like writing it. I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, I mean, and then just to get back on the other thing, like people like Ted Bundy is the new like hot one to talk about right now and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, it's fascinating stuff, but like, and everyone's like, oh, Ted Bundy was hot. I'm like,
no, he wasn't.
I'm like, don't fuck like he would have fucking murdered you like in a second, Like, don't
glorify their horrendous actions.
Yeah, this guy's a piece of shit. There's a nice guy out there who's better looking than Ted Bundy, who didn't have a weird eyebrow thing going on.
They might have kissed their cousin once, but that's the worst.
Okay, wait. I'm trying to defend the people who are not Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
And now you're saying that they kissed their cousin.
No.
If you kiss your cousin once, you're still better than Ted Bundy, so don't give up hope.
Twice as pushing it.
Ted Bundy's a piece of shit.
Was.
And, what?
I said was.
Did I say it was?
You said is.
Oh, was. He still is, even in his afterlife.
Yeah.
Was implies that he is not a piece of shit anymore. He's still a piece of shit, even if he's dead. But so fuck that dude, and fuck everybody who's killed somebody. Don't kill anybody, and
don't kill people. Just love each other.
Don't marry murderers either. There's a lot of nice guys out there.
Yeah.
And that makes it seem like I'm trying to get a girlfriend. I got a girlfriend. Don't worry. So, and I murdered somebody, so she's
aware.
Yeah, she's the problem.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you guys for tuning in. We went off on a little bit of a tangent on morality and marrying murderers, but don't do it. And
it's not cool. Don't do it.
Stay with us. Yeah, it's not cool. It's cool.
mushrooms. Those are cool. Do those instead. And I've never done mushrooms.
Yeah.
Okay, I won't promote mushrooms. Okay, so love you guys. Campstrange.com for all the hyperlinks. We got merch. We got links. We got rate, review, subscribes. We got
beach balls, motherfucker.
Okay, here we go.
We're doing this again.
We got anvils.
We got kites.
We got the back of your hand that you already know.
We got auxiliary cords.
We got Benjamin Franklin's kite, key included.
We got Xbox controllers. I'm not talking about 360. I'm not talking about the new one. I'm talking about the old one that was big as shit.
We got the plastic tube that you turn upside down. And it goes.
We got those beach balls that have sand in them, so when you throw them, they wiggle in the air.
Oh, okay. You already said beach balls, though.
But these ones are way sicker.
I know what you're talking about.
Those ones are fucking sick. Can we get one in here?
They're easy to make.
We got wine racks. We got car jacks.
We got out of time. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we love
We love you. We love you guys.
We love you. Call us back.
Happy birthday, Tobin.
It's not my birthday yet. Oh, when does this come out? Friday?
Friday will be,
St. Patrick's Day is my birthday, so have a shot for me. That's another Drake reference. Wow, 2 Drake references in a row, and I know you're going to say something, so we'll stop there. Okay. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Enjoy your weekend. Drink responsibly. Drink some green beer with food dye. That's going to make your poop green.
Hell yeah.
And, one love.
And don't forget to...
Oh, sorry. Oh, you guys, I love to say it, and you love to hear it. Don't forget to... David, I'm going to let you do this one.
Stay strange.